never Zoomed before. All right, so Emily's job is to make sure and capture all the notes of what we're saying today. And the good news is, let's quick go around and do some brief little intros and tell us what organization or affiliation you have. And then we'll talk about what's going on for 250 in Southern Chester County and see what you all have cooking as well. So I'm Karen Simmons at the Chester County Community Foundation, the Friends of 250. And Emily Dina is our trusty note taker and outreach officer. Hank, can you introduce yourself, sir? And you can unmute yourselves. I know, except for Collis Townsend who's driving. But go ahead, Hank.
Second.
Yep, you
Okay.
got it.
Am I good? So good afternoon. My name is Hank Sommer. I'm the representative from Chadds Ford for the 250 celebration, and I look forward to today's conversation.
Glad you're here. And Chelsea, welcome back. How's the library recovered from that Juneteenth celebration?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was amazing and what fantastic energy. So fun. It was wonderful that we were
I've
able
never
to
seen a still
virtually.
walker in the library. Gotta tell you, in any library. And
Yeah.
the fact that y'all got Joan Holliday, Southern Chester County's retired public health nurse, to, what is that, underneath the little pole? What is that? The dancing that she
The
was doing.
limbo.
The limbo, yeah. There were all these little kids limboing under the Juneteenth pole. And then I don't know how that stilt walker got Joan Holliday through there, but boy, it was great to see her trying to limbo.
Nobody wants to disappoint a stilt walker. So I'm Chelsea. I'm the community programs producer at Kennett Library. I primarily focus on health, civic, and social literacies and some local author talks as well. So I'm primarily here with my role as governing like the civic programming that we have free for patrons at the library, and to share what we're planning in that regard. So thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Collis, do you dare introduce yourself while driving, following after Chelsea? We'll put libraries together.
Probably not. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yeah, I got to work. Collis Townsend, I'm President Board of Trustees. Chelsea, it's great to have you on board for this project, and look forward to our meeting today.
Thank you, sir. Keep driving, 2 hands on the wheel. And Colin Hanna, not to be confused with Collis Townsend by any means. Could you introduce yourself, sir?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Karen. I'm Colin Hanna. I am Vice President of the Board of the Brandywine Valley Symphony, previously known as the Kennett Symphony, but we officially changed our name just a couple of weeks ago. And we are planning a major concert in conjunction with the Whole America 250 recognition next June at Longwood Gardens.
Glad you're here today, sir. And Kathleen Goodyear, I see you on here. Could you introduce yourself, please? Good to see you.
I'm Kathleen Goodyear, and I am on the Chadds Ford Township Board of Supervisors.
Glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lynn Sinclair, it's very good to see you.
Thank you. Lynn Sinclair, Kennett Heritage Center.
Welcome.
We're planning a 4-part speaker series, hopefully to have at the library. Our series is going to be called Revolutionary Lives. And
all right, we're going to get more details momentarily. We'll circle back to you and Chelsea and Collis and have good news.
Absolutely. You want to write
Thank
now?
you, Lynn. And Richard Leff, I see you there. So thank you for joining. You want to do a wonderful intro?
Turn the video
Thanks.
off.
I'm Rich Leff. I'm on the board of Kennett Township. I am going to have to step out partway through. I'm not exactly sure when for my other day job.
Yeah, we figure there's a lot going on. We try to keep these ongoing and brief. So thanks for joining us. And who is 212-1131? Has anybody got a number there? Name? Somebody's listening in. I'm sorry to say this, 212-1131. If you can't identify yourself, Emily's going to have to delete you. We're going to give a little countdown, and we're not going to start at 2026. Can you chat if you're on the phone? 1098-765 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry. If you want to come back and tell us who you are, that would be good. We've had a little issue with some of these calls, it turns out. Who knew? Got it, Em? Thank you. Sorry about that. So now that we know who's here, we've got some great stuff going on for Southern Chester County. And am I sharing my screen? Can you see my screen or no? The
Yes.
website for Friends of 250? So what Emily's doing today is there are for our regional conversations, we've got a bulletin board going up. Oh, Dan Embry's here. Now, if I just kick Dan Embry off, I'm going to be very sorry. Dan, are you on here?
I am. Sorry for joining late.
No, I just kicked somebody off because they wouldn't identify who they are. Hey, we just went around the room and did intros. Can the man who needs no intros introduce himself?
Hi, I'm Daniel Embry from Gannett Collaborative in Gannett Square.
Glad you're here. Thanks, Dan. So in Southern Chester County, there's an awful lot that's starting to bubble up, which is great. And there's a bulletin board, and I don't know if you've all been looking at it, but we take notes. Oh, look at you. Emily is typing away right here as you're talking. And so we've got notes on the bulletin board from the last couple months worth of gatherings, just to hear what's coming up the pike. And now that they're starting to turn real, there's a confirmed events bulletin board at the very top where we're starting to put dates and times and places. And that way we can help when they start to get closer to co-promote them. And also folks are asking us what's going on in 2026. So it's great to have some events on the docket throughout the county. We're one of half a dozen different community activation groups that's running on. Phoenixville was last night. Uh, Kennett Square or Westchester was Monday. Coatesville's starting to come up. In the eastern side, we got a Malvern Paoli, two different groups. So we're working, which is great. So we'd love to get some ideas. And again, do y'all see the web? You know our website. It's we'll send out the link again. But we're trying to put up and get right some of the things you're saying. Like Colin, I think we have this right. So if you want to explain a little bit more about what you're doing, um, is this looking right? You're doing a Made in America is the name of the performance at this point, sir?
We don't actually have a name for it, but the whole theme is America. So all of the music presented will either be by American composers or about America, such
Okay.
as Dvorak's New World Symphony, for instance.
Ah, okay. Emily's getting
We'll
us
have Gershwin
here.
and Copeland and people like that.
Okay. Emily, just keep taking the notes down here and then we'll add it to later. All right, so you're doing Copeland and all that good stuff. And we were talking about, you had said it would be possibly preceded by a Dare to Declare, maybe in the beer garden?
That's what we're trying to work out with Longwood itself, because that would be outside of the little span of time that we're doing. I love the idea of Dare to Declare, and we're going to fit it in one way or another.
Okay, let us know when we can help because we have folks to be able to do that.
Right.
The Dare to Declare initiative is going strong. We actually have about 30 organizations that have started to
Right.
sign up for Dare to Declare. And Dare to Declare is our initiative that we're doing with Valley Forge to help people read the Declaration of Independence and have conversations about it in any kind of a public setting. So Nixon Park is going to do some in Kennett Square. Sheila Takeback was just on the email about that. And we're hoping the library, Chelsea, I know you've got some great series and the more partners that we can get, the better. So Dare to Declare can be done every day throughout the summer for as much as we want it to be. Well,
The Heritage Center will probably do one too.
that would be great, Lynn.
Leaning strongly to that.
Good, good, good. Yeah. What we're doing is we're working with Emily Neff, who's called the Declaration Lady. She lives up in Trapp and she has her PhD from William and Mary in Declaration of Independence is her big thing. So she's coming up with a facilitator's guide and a event planner's guide and even a reader's guide. And so we'll have all those free resources up online. Plus, we'll do some mini grants and we'll co-promote it. So we really want people to not just read the Declaration of Independence, but discuss it. And we'll have some facilitators as well, or in Zoom sessions and all that good stuff to train folks. So Dare to Declare by Lynn would be terrific as well. Lynn, you talked about,
oh,
go ahead. Go ahead, Hank.
no, I was going to ask a question, but I'll follow your comments.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. You can ask a
Well,
question.
so I wanted to first acknowledge and say thank you to Emily for getting me connected with Stephen's group in Westtown. I see a smile. I reached out to Stephen. We had a nice conversation, and I attended one of their monthly meetings over the township building.
Good.
And it was, it's insightful to be on these calls, but it's something different to be with those in the neighborhood.
Right.
So I learned a lot, but just by being there, it was just interesting. The questions asked, not maybe our questions, but certainly questions that you can take away and say, maybe there's something we can apply. We're still in the stages, and I'll let Kathleen certainly talk about it, of looking at our partners around us, the battlefield, the church, the conservancy, the historical society, and we're going to have some meetings upcoming. But I guess I had a question, if I could ask, if Richard Leff is still on the call. I think he.
Richard, are you still there? I see your face. Richard? Richard left.
So my
Mine is
question
not.
was really going to be around the maybe the opportunities for the business side of the 250, and that is how are the townships, whether it's Kennett or as we develop our sort of conversation with the hospitality, with the restaurants, what's sort of the story? Or is there a story that's consistent amongst all the townships, or do we have our own unique story to then share with the hospitality and the restaurants and service industry to engage them to become part of the experience because they'll be benefiting by a lot of the activities coming about?
You know, Dan Embry, can I put you on the spot? I think I just did.
Sure.
Do you know what Dan does at the Kennett Collaborative? Can you explain it a tiny bit? And then let's help address Hank's question.
Sure. So we're our roots are as a Main Street organization. We're a nonprofit that um, promotes Kennett Square as a great place to live, work, and visit.
Great.
So we do a lot of storytelling. So I think your question about storytelling is a good question and one that we would I do I think we would play a role in helping to tell the story. Um, I'm not gonna I don't think in this moment I would have the direct answer of what is that story,
Sure.
but I think your comment that there should be one and that the restaurants and other institutions should be kind of on the same page on it is a good one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we start a side group on that, right?
Yeah, and I think what I learned with Westtown, they've done both. They've had a meeting to invite those business entities into the township to have that conversation, and then the follow-up has been going outbound to have those conversations if there's interest. So it's just trying to get a sense, can we apply some of that into our collective neighborhoods here on Route 1?
And Hank,
So
you're really thinking about the hospitality restaurant entertainment
I think
services or
there's so much
hospitality services?
business when you come to the events and the historical, whether it's the activities in Kennett or in our area, people are going to stay around and look for something to eat and somewhere to go. And so I think there's a play here. If we can leverage this to then bring to the restaurants, by the way, for the next 30 days or the next, Monday through the year, we're going to have these events. FYI, what do you think? What do you want to do? So on and so forth.
I
I'll
think,
give maybe an example of how that worked in the borough of Kent Square for the holidays.
Sure.
Past for the past 2 years, we've borrowed, Longwood Gardens has a theme to their holiday display each year, and
Okay.
we've piggybacked off of that theme for the holidays. So this past year was Experience the Magic in Kennett Square. The year before that was a retro theme. We kind of had this, there's no place like Kennett Square for the holidays, but it was all
Oh,
about like a
great.
vintage Christmas kind of vibe. And having the theme was really helpful in getting the storefronts to participate in decorating their windows, and it gave kind of some direction. So I think having themes, having,
Sure.
slogans like that, it can be helpful in um, creating kind of a more cohesive um, feeling across the different
Hmm.
businesses.
It goes back to the theme, knowing the big events and then being able to try to get the businesses to rally around it. And that may be part of the answer, Hank, is knowing what the events are on the docket then throughout the year, which is
I
why we're trying
think
to build.
it's Yeah, I think it's identifying what we want to, sort of bring out to educate, and then how do we best go about that to then get invested stakeholders to say, for the month of, I don't know, April, we're going to do these specials and call it the 250 something or 250 off your menu or whatever it's going to be, and have a little fun with it. But
Yeah,
to me, I'd much rather get the hospitality in our area or other areas involved up front, so they're not surprised by what might be happening, and then people not being able to get in or not knowing where to go to for a lunch or a dinner when they're in these areas.
mm-hmm. Hank, we had a talk with Susan Hamley and Nina Kelly last month, and they
Okay.
felt like the hospitality folks were going to be planning much closer to the event.
Okay.
So part of it is we want to get them together when the right time is.
Sure.
And
Sure.
maybe there's a way between Hank, Dan, and we can get Nina in and do some Zooms just to kind of think that through a bit more because it really seems to keep coming up in the Southern Chester County group. The other groups aren't as sensitized to it yet. So, and Nina knows Southern Chester County. Susan knows. So, what do you
I
think,
think
Heather?
as the township's involved, we're always looking for ways to support our businesses, especially in the village. So I think to Hank's point is how can we do that? How can we support them? How can we promote them? And I think that the 250 is an excellent way. And
Yeah.
I think what we're talking about at this point is planting a seed. I agree with you. I think that we haven't seen much interest in talking about it yet. They're just dealing with their seasonal menus and things like that.
Right.
They don't think a year in advance. I mean, I know they do, but not as far as this kind of thing goes. But it is, I think, getting them prepared for it. So as they hear more, and personally, I have heard so much more about the 250 as we get closer. Just
Right.
looking in media and people are talking about it more and more. And so we need to, I think, get in on the ground floor
Hmm.
and but you're right. I think that you you're not going to get a commitment or an idea, but if we
Planting a
plant the
seed.
seed now,
Awareness, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
yeah.
of I mean, can we just do some kind of who would help us host the right gathering? I mean, they could get the Southern Chester County Chamber that we do at the Gables. I mean, is that a good place? Can you all think of the place that would be the right place to invite the restaurants or yeah, you think of who we should invite and then let's get them there, whether it's by Zoom or in person. And is there a different event that they're already doing that we can just get them together on? So, yeah, or do we need to make the round separately?
We have a quarterly merchant meeting for the
Indeed.
merchants that are
Perfect.
in mostly in the borough
Yeah.
and township, but um, this this would be a good place for us to deliver messaging to them.
Okay. So we can come up with 3 bullet points and then 3 ideas or whatever and get something rolling. And then we
I,
can run it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get all the small businesses in one place. We usually
Yeah.
get about 25 small businesses there.
Yep.
And then we have email, the emails afterwards with the minutes are more widely read.
Right. That's great. And again, we have, I mean, Emily sends out email updates so we can design some very specifically for the small businesses and the hospitality folks to be able to have y'all forward as well. We're also doing, I mean, this is old fashioned, but the chambers of commerce want articles for their membership directories. So we're putting those out now over this summer and fall, just on how businesses can get involved with 250. So we should come up with some shortened versions of that too, that we can just keep spiking out there, I think.
I think,
Who they
Karen,
listen to.
uh,
What you
just
got,
to
Hank?
dovetail onto what Kathleen said, so as we all know, Uh, Kennett is a lovely town and borough where you have a downtown epicenter, things to walk to, things to go to, and so on and so forth. The lovely downtown of Chadds Ford, I'm not quite sure what if it's 202 and Route 1. We're going to have an event there. I'm joking, of course, but certainly the business engagement, I think, is as much importance as that as it is having the hospitality side,
Yeah.
because we're just on these two crossroads, it seems like, to the outside. Not to us, but to the outside it does.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would like to have some consideration for a business engagement of some sort, whether that we host it at, mutual townships to invite the business community or something of that nature.
We would love to help get that rolling. So yes. Okay. So Emily's got the ideas down, and Colin, you have your hand up. What do you, sir? Are you along this topic too?
Yes, I'm not sure if this can develop into a meaningful and useful idea or not. But as you were discussing that, it occurred to me that if there was any interest in having some sort of an event at Radley Run at the
Ah,
historic mansion, I'd love to pursue that for you.
Oh,
Two of those buildings, predate the revolution,
yep.
and the
Perfect.
mansion itself with its magnificent ballroom would be terrific for some sort of a meeting if you were trying to get draw people in advance, a month or so ahead, to run through the entire list of upcoming events and things like that. So any kind of community meeting or line up food trucks or anything like that, those are all ideas that are just percolating right now, but it's something I'd never mentioned, and I wonder if it's something that might have appeal.
Very appealing. What do y'all comments?
I think it's an excellent idea, Mr. Hannah.
Well,
Why
thanks,
not have
Kathleen.
a
Let's figure out a way to
revolutionary
make it work.
gala?
A
What's
revolution.
that?
Have a revolutionary gala there. Get people to
You want
dress
to do
up.
that?
Have
That'd be
kind of a
fine. That'd be
fundraising,
fine.
mission-driven thing would be fun.
How about you? Sure, absolutely. How would we develop that? Karen, taking your leadership, how would we sort of brainstorm that idea?
Well, I think there's two levels to it. One is just a gathering over cocktails and food to get people together for an update on what's going on for,
That's
pick your target market, and have an enticement. A Revolutionary Gala, I would do the practice run this weekend at the Chester County History Center.
right.
Because Lafayette's event, the homecoming event for Lafayette is this Saturday. And it starts out at the Brandywine, at Thornbury Farm at the battlefield, and then moves over to Westchester for a walk, and then a Revolutionary Lafayette ball at the History Center. And it is not a small undertaking. So
Well,
that's
let's see how that goes and what we learn from it.
Bruce Bowdy will let us know a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah,
Right.
it's going to take a lot of funding and it's not going to make money, but it's going to be a fun time. Yeah,
How many people are going to dress up? Do you have any sense of that?
I don't have that number. Yeah, but tickets are only $75, so
Right.
it's really the sponsorships. Got it. Thank you. Yeah. But I do like the idea of really trying to keep the businesses invested and bring them in and I mean, just a $17.76 lunch. Or, the wine tasting or the tavern talks. And some of the other, Lynn, this is some of the other heritage centers do tavern talks and things like that. And it's a different slant to them, but it does bring in people to do the conversations. And there's all kinds of levels to that. So yes, idea so noted. And Dan, I think we'll start to follow up with you too about the quarterly merchant meeting. And we'll start to run out Chamber of Commerce, smaller articles that we can start to recruit with for Hank as well. What else is going on? And Frank McGrail, I see you're the person I bumped off before, so thank you very much for having the courage to come back. Appreciate that. So when I Googled your number, you come up as a scam, by the way. So if that happens again, it's an AI overview. Sorry about that. Chelsea, can you talk a little bit more about the library and what sorts of things the library is thinking about, or Collis, or?
Hi, I'm happy to chat. This is my first time coming to these meetings, so I'm excited to be here. I haven't been privy to much talk at the library as to what any current plans are. But I can say there's definitely something that we're doing this year that we hope to continue next year, which would tie in very well. We're working with the American Legion Post 491 right in Kennett, just down the street from us. The American Legion has a national oratorical contest every year regarding topics around the Constitution. We are having 2 writing workshops, 2 public speaking workshops, and an evening in our auditorium for the students to practice presenting their works, which would be open to the public. All of it will be free for any students in the area that are competing. All the local schools are on board and very excited as well. So that is something that we would hope to continue next year as part of the 250. We're doing something right now with
Wait, Chelsea, what month is your National Oratorial
Oh, yes, I'm
Contest?
so sorry. So the preparations for that begin in September and carry through December is when they have to submit their works. So in the month of September, we would be offering the 2 writing workshops. And in the month of October, we have the dates for this year, but in regards to next year, would be October for the public speaking. And then the first part of November, right before Veterans Day, we will have the presentations and offer them a chance to present, to practice that.
Do you happen to know is there a theme that the Legion picks out each year that's separate?
Sure. They do. They usually pick out 4 different sort of themes in regards to the Constitution, and then the students pick which one they are going to focus their speech, for lack of a better word, on. And they launch those in August. They share what those are. So we'll be finding out soon what this year's are going to be. My other note was we have a art gallery in the library, and we've already talked about, we're booked through this year actually, so it's kind of crazy how quickly it gets booked out. But we were talking about next year in November, possibly doing a either Constitution based or veterans based art gallery. So that is definitely something we would do. All of those stay up for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how they're booked. And we have a gallery opening for each one of those. So it would include a gallery opening as well.
Nice. Hey, Chelsea, we're tagline that we're trying to help promote during 2026.
Yeah.
You talked about a Constitution-based or a declaration or an veterans-based.
Mhm.
The larger thing we're just trying to say is let freedom ring.
Awesome. And
Because it
I
has to
will
do
let
with
you
the
know.
signing of the Declaration of Independence is
Yep.
the founding document for the country.
And our program liaison, who kind of oversees all of our programming folks, is already on that. She has talked to us a couple weeks ago, and everybody is trying to gear all of our programming around the theme of freedom. So, whether it's health or children's or whatever, we're trying to kind of have that as an overall theme with most of
Freedom
the
is
programming
great.
that we're doing.
Good.
And something, when you guys were talking about the Dare to Declare, so we're starting in September and we're going to do one a quarter. We're working with the folks at WHYY. They have this program called Bridging Blocks. It sort of works a little bit like a bridging meeting, but they're topic geared, and they come, they share some information, and then they have sort of like preset questions that are dialogue starters, and like they break up into groups and people kind of chat about whatever the issue is and then come together. And I feel like Dare to Declare would be awesome in that context.
That
So
series, yeah.
yeah, I want to talk to them in regards to, you know, what we're doing in 2026 and see if we can do one of those, you know, Dare to Declare Independence, a Declaration of Independence focused bridging blocks with WHYY.
Great. Yeah. And you know what? We didn't really talk with WHYY about Dare to Declare, and I don't know that Valley Forge has. They've been a little busy with some of this federal stuff going on. So
Yeah.
I know HYY is the Ken Burns documentary.
Yes,
In
we're
November.
looking to show that at the library. They just sent us some information because there's a grant program associated with it. So we're in the process of running through that and filling it out for Kennett Library and to host that as well.
Great. And that's this November, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I can send you the contact for Brisa, who works with the branch that does the bridging blocks as well, if you wanted to talk to them, because they so like every quarter they have 2 to 3 topics that the locations can pick from. So if they even had the Dare to Declare as one of the topics, then we wouldn't be the only library doing it.
Right.
There'd be multiple locations doing it, and they do libraries, and they also started doing schools and senior centers because they realized at libraries they were missing kind of the younger and older sets that they also wanted to reach.
Excellent. That is terrific. That's a great contact, so we can spread it out throughout the land. Beautiful. And you said Risa works with bridging blocks at HYY?
Yes. Hold on. Let
Okay.
me pull that up right now.
I'm gonna
So
hook
it
her up
goes
with,
in the notes for everybody.
Thank you. Yeah. And that way we can get it to all kinds of places.
And she's also from Kennett. She used to work at LCH for a while. So
Okay.
that's lovely as well to know.
Excellent.
So
This is good. Get it out
Karen.
there. What do you have, Collis?
Do you have a resource for, I went to a party a couple of weeks ago where they had a little pocket. It was a Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Do you have a resource for buying those in bulk?
Yes and no. We're working with the two. We're working with the Freedom Foundation folks in the northern part of the county because they give away an awful lot of these things. So we're trying to get that out there. How about Emily? I'll put you on a side note on that so we can figure it out and get the link on the website and send it out to folks.
Well, what I'm wondering is to get a copy out to every kid in the school systems, because we do have good programs in the school systems. And the Kennett Library has a need to buy some books right now. And maybe we could find a way to work together.
Okay, very good. We should hook up then. Definitely, in the whole library system too. Yeah.
I admit I wear a couple hats for the township because not only am I a supervisor, I'm also on the board of the Brandywine Battlefield Park Associates. So I'm going to work in both states. But I do believe they sell them in their store, so they might have a reference as well. Unfortunately, Troy couldn't be here. He had another meeting he had to go to. But he might have an
busy day.
idea.
Yep.
We do have on our website a link to buy the pocket size version. It's a hardcover. They're about like a little less than $10 a piece. So I can email that out if you'd like, Hollis.
If you would. I'm wondering about the number of the distribution. You know, 500,000, 2,000. It just depends on what the plan is. And
Right.
if any of the other partners would like it, to funnel it through the library, just because we need to get our collections percentage
Right.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we got to work on a good bulk version, Emily. So
Sure.
But
yeah,
I wouldn't want to compete with some of our partners if they're also.
right. Okay. Um, is this something, Collis, we should try to centralize through Joe Sherwood as well as individualize with the different libraries?
For right now, I'd rather just keep it with Kent. We're
I had
having
a
an issue
feeling.
that I'd rather not go to
Okay.
CCLS.
Yeah, let me work with the Freedoms Foundation folks too then, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, got it. All right.
I've arrived at the airport, so I'm going to have to sign out. But thank you all for what you're doing. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great flight. Be careful.
Yep.
Enjoy. Bye-bye. Crystal Crandon, I see you just joined us. We were talking about your stilt walkers before at the library for Juneteenth.
Hi, everyone. So sorry I'm late.
Not to worry. Glad you're here. Congratulations. Have you recovered yet?
Yes, we're ready to party again, aren't we, Lynn?
So we've been going around just to see who's got different ideas and what we're working on for June or Dare to Declare, I'm sorry, America 250, which does include the freedoms of Juneteenth and the Declaration of Independence. Kathleen, you have a lot of hats on. Any other things you're thinking about?
I did, and I did mention Troy couldn't be here, so I did want to kind of tell you where the battlefield stands. They did get some funding. And
Hey,
he mentioned last time about the Amazing Race to Brandywine. It's
yeah.
an untimed car road rally event, different challenges and trivia, kind of driving through the battlefield, the larger battlefield. And it is scheduled, as you see, May 16th, 11 to 2.
Okay.
But he
Oh,
also has something called Voices of Brandywine, which is a living history kind of theater event working with the Delaware Theater Company,
he
portraying
didn't
different
tell us
scenes.
about that one. That was the one he was
Well,
hidden under his vest.
yeah. Well, portraying different scenes from the Battle of Brandywine. I guess kind of from the moment that Washington realizes he's been flanked, Gideon Gilpin returning to his home, only to realize the devastation wrought by the British Army. Anyway, they're thinking about that being August 1st,
Nice.
2026.
So Emily, did you get the title or do you need it again?
You say the
It was
title
called
one more time.
Voices of Brandywine. So that was August 1st. And then, as you know, the Battle of Brandywine, their semi-quincentennial is 2027. So they're also considering something of the camping with the Continentals. This is camping overnight with
Camping with the
with the
Continentals?
reenactors. And so you kind of
Okay.
get to immerse yourself in that, the food and all that. So anyway, that's scheduled. They're thinking about spring of 2027.
So spring of 2027 is camping with the Continentals and immersion.
Right. I mean, and because
Okay,
that's also their 250. They're
right.
on the in 2027.
But it's not the 9/11/27, it's the spring date more so. Okay.
Oh,
Is
yes.
there an
Well, not yet, not.
age?
Hmm?
Is there an age requirement for that or just needs an adult with them?
Yeah, I do not have any more details than that
Okay,
at this
that
point.
sounds
I mean,
fun.
these are very rudimentary plans at this point. Um, they're really the race,
Good.
the Amazing Race to Brandywine is the one that they're really trying to flesh out more at this point, and then they'll work more to the Continentals. But yeah, I'll let him know that there's a question on the age ranges.
Oh, that's great that it's starting to progress. This is good. And that's why it's helpful to know what's sort of on the docket and then when it gets real.
Well, I
So
think it was,
that's
I really
great.
did want to put that August 1st date in the bulletin board there.
Okay, got it. So the August 1st is with the Delaware Theater Company. Emily, did you get all the details? Because I was writing off to the side badly.
Yes, and I also
Delaware Theater Company,
see,
August 1st, Voices of Brandywine. What else?
yes.
Thanks, Kathleen. That's a great thing. Anybody
And
else?
Chelsea's
Okay.
been putting some great resources in the chat, so that's also what I'm pulling.
Thanks, Chelsea. Leave it to the library. Good. Anything else people want to bring up? All right. We're going to update the notes. We're going to send it around. We got resources to come. We are just going to keep the August meeting on the calendar. We don't expect a ton of attendance, by the way. So, yeah, but in September, we'll start pushing up again. We just didn't want to disrupt the flow. All right. And Hank, thank you for bringing up the business and hospitality. I think we can work with you and Dan and
Sure.
Kathleen, whoever else is interested in that. So that would be terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
I just had an idea pop into my head, Dan.
Go
I don't
for
know
it.
if it makes any sense, but well, Kennett's, there's a lot of restaurants, the whole thing's walkable in a short distance. I don't know if they would come together in Kennett to do like a themed progressive dinner thing or something like that. It would be fun.
It would be fun. It can be very hard to get that level of coordination between restaurants. I wonder if the Taste of Kennett folks might be especially because that's similar to their format, and so they may already have the um,
It's just to put the
capacity to do that.
theme.
Yeah.
So to get the Taste of Kennett folks aware that it's coming so they can add the theme to what they're doing already.
And if they wanted to do it and not like, if they just wanted to come to a place to have a themed gathering with food that people could kind of like peruse around and do little samplings, almost like a smaller, if anybody's been to the Meals on Wheels thing that they do in Delaware, we could probably host at the library. I'm saying that without asking our events coordinator at the moment, but
All good ideas. All right. We got more ideas in play. That's all right. That's good. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order today? I say go to Thornbury Farm this Saturday. I think it's 11 o'clock is when the speechifying starts, but I think the grounds open at 10 o'clock. And then head over to Westchester and follow the path of Lafayette. And Colin, Hannah, I want to see what you dress up as for the ball at the History Center.
I have a costume.
Good for you. Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody. Keep on keeping on, all right?
Thank you,
Thank you,
Karen.
Karen.
See you again soon. Take care. Thank you.